Welcome to the Leadership in Land podcast, where we talk about what actually moves the needle in the land business. This show isn't about getting rich or quick schemes or magic mail pieces. It's about leadership, systems, decision making, the stuff that you just happen to figure out after your third or fourth pricing mistake, or maybe just your first. This deal looks great on paper, got a moment. Well, tune in with me today, my friends, and let's dive right in.
You're listening to the RE Tipster Podcast Network.
Okay, so quick question for you. Have you heard of our Skool community? I just want to make sure to invite you to check that out. If you're listening to this episode, it's actually kind of old, to be honest with you. And so if you want our latest, if you want our greatest content we're putting out, real conversations about leadership, decision making, building a land business that actually works in the real world, get inside our Skool community where you get access to the free leadership course, plus bonus episodes, discussions, and insights that honestly just don't make it onto the podcast. So if you're serious about this, you want to learn more about leadership, get in the community, check it out, leadershipinland.com or school.com/leadershipinland. All right, let's get in the episode. Hey everyone, Dave Denniston here with Generation Family Properties, Land UnConference, and Leadership in Land. Wanted to do something to add value to the amazing land community that we have. And as I've been reflecting on numbers and how things went for us in 2024, I thought it might be interesting to show a bit about our business and some of the results of where we got sales from. And so I wanted to walk through our business. If you're not familiar with me, which we probably aren't, we have a fairly decent sized business, pretty diversified. We have a lot of cheaper properties, and we've been getting more and more into what I call medium-sized properties over 20K. And so we have a variety of terms, a variety of cash. There's a lot of different ways you could slice the data of what happened to us in the last year, but I thought it might be helpful to give a little bit of context before we got going here. So we have a lot of terms contracts. We have a lot of cash sales between decent sized terms portfolio and a growing just kind of general inventory. So I ran a bunch of stuff through ChatGPT. I had to do a whole bunch of iterations because it was not properly capturing the data. So now that I have, let me share my screen with you, and I will show you what our business looks like. So here on the left were the total number of sales that we had last year. Now, this is actually a little bit off as I compared up the data, but we had about 283. So it's missing 6 properties somewhere in there, but most of the rest of this is right. What I had ChatGPT do for me was tell me how many properties are 1 to 10,000, how many are 10 to 20, how many were 20,000 and above, cash prices, not what we bought it for, but cash price. And then break it down on sales volume, break it down by sales source. So you can see here, if you look pretty consistently, our favorite big brother of the lands.com network, LandWatch, Land and Farm, lands.com was a big chunk of our sales. All in all, that's close to a third of the whole enchilada, which we pay to play. We literally pay thousands of dollars a month for our lands.com subscription. So that's a big deal for us.
Writing and sending purchase agreements doesn't have to take all day. With Stride CRM, you can generate a full contract with one click, send it to the seller, and track every step until it's digitally signed. No more switching between DocuSign and Google Drive and email. Stride keeps everything digital, fast, and organized in one place. Visit stridecrm.co and start watching your business improve today.
Second big deal for us across many of them is our buyers list. So this being people on our buyers list that our salespeople are following up with. They've opted in the past. Sometimes we do emails where we're featuring particular properties. You could probably really combine those to say 81. It's a little bit hard to measure. We do land search, has been great for us overall. Realtors have been okay in our business model. Facebook has been okay in our business model. And then we just have kind of a bunch of random things here and there, some referrals, Land Century, another person doing Facebook, Land Flip did a few, List with Freedom, Flat Fee MLS did a few. I did one myself on Facebook. Looks like we have Land Search twice. We got one from Craigslist. So those are the small potatoes compared to the big ones. So what I thought would be helpful as we look at this data is instead look at some pie charts, right? So here is whole enchilada, right, of the whole thing. 35% of our sales came from LandWatch, 25% from our buyers list, which again, you could add this. It's closer to 30% when you add in the deals of the week email, which are going to the buyers list. Land search going on 10, so that's been really, really good to us. Facebook has been okay, right? It's doing some of the things. YouTube has been a growing source for us. And then just a bunch of random stuff that, this makes a chunk of the pie, just random sources doing a lot of different things. 80-20 rule, right? These 4-5 things are probably the biggest thing for our whole business. Now, if we look at start breaking it down on the dollars, each property is an inventory. Now the $1,000 to $10,000 range, again, lands very, very big. Buyers list, huge here in this space. Land search, huge in this space. Realtor, practically nothing, right? So I'm sure this won't surprise you. YouTube was pretty decent here. Facebook was pretty decent. So that's where we lie on that. Let's step it up another level and double that, right? Again, LandWatch, Land and Farm, huge. Buyers list, not as big in this space. So those cheaper properties, right? If you're doing traditional Land Geek style terms properties, buyers list is a huge chunk of what you do for the $0 to $10,000 space. Facebook is still pretty stinking big here. Realtor starts to become a thing for us. We have had realtors help us sell some of these cheaper properties where they did help out, in some cases, help us to unload some of those. And again, YouTube doing a little bit here. Now, if we collapse this and let's look at one where a lot of land investors are playing in, cash values, 20,000 or above, look at the change here. Realtors become a much, much bigger piece of the pie, the biggest piece of the pie relative to everything else, but we're not putting all of our eggs in that basket, right? If we purely relied on realtors, we're missing out on 60% plus of the sales that we had. Good old LandWatch, Land and Farm, right? Number 2 here in this case. Our buyers list is still getting activity. Facebook is getting us activity. Random stuff, we don't know where they came from, activity. Flat Fee MLS getting a percentage here. So that's kind of our sources. In our year this year, one of the things we're doing, as we talk to a lot of the other land investors, we haven't put much time into Facebook. And so we're going to be putting a lot more time there in 2025 and on a go forward basis. So I hope this is interesting for you and gives you some context. Personally, would love to hear from you to share what's working, what's not working. Let's collaborate and figure out what maybe some other sources that I haven't addressed here that everyone in the community should be aware of. What are you doing that's different or interesting? And we'll talk more. Thanks so much. All right. Well, that wraps up today's episode. If this was helpful, don't just let it live in your head. Take one idea from today and actually put it in practice. That, my friends, is where the real progress happens. If you want to check out and keep the conversation going with other land investors like you want to make sure to check out a whole bunch of free resources and talk about challenges that we all go through. Please come and check out our leadership and land community on Skool. We've got bonus content, real discussions, and a free leadership course. No hype required at all. Just check out leadershipinland.com or go to Skool, that's SKOOL.com/leadershipinland. Appreciate you being here. Talk soon.